Well, it's one of those social things. Jerry Quickley had done a project with us, a solo show that he had done 10 years ago. And so about 2 years ago, he says, hey, you know, we should go out for dinner. And I'm like, sure. So we go out to dinner, we're sitting there, and I'm like, well, so what you doing? And he tells me about this project that he did in Palo Alto with students at Stanford University and incarcerated youth in East Palo Alto, and how he did this project that was going to bring them together to mutually understand each other by creating these biographies about each other. And I'm like, that is an interesting project, and I sort of filed it in the back of my head. And then when we decided that we were going to do this Communities Creators project, Patricia Garza, who's currently our project's manager, brought the Popol Vuh to me and said, this is a great project. And I thought the other project, which could be really good, is Jerry's. And so we brought these two projects together under one umbrella, which is Communities Creators. We chose for Through the Looking Glass two communities that are very similar, Montebello and Leimert Park. And they're very similar economically in that they're primarily middle class with working class surrounding. One community was African American, the other was primarily a Latino. And as we delved into Montebello, we realized that there was a very big Asian population as well as an Armenian population. And so that felt also really important. Did they have these misconceptions about each other? And could we delve into that?
I know not one thing about Montebello. I don't even know what Montebello is. How about that? As a matter of fact, I don't know anyone in Montebello. I'm thinking Wilmington.
I'm not very familiar with Leimert Park.
I don't know. I don't think they even know it exists.
I might have been there and don't know that's where I was.
I think that Montebello is a community that is in desperate need of a voice and in desperate need of exposure to other voices.
They feel very far apart, and they're really not. They're a couple of freeways apart. It will be really interesting to see how quickly they realize that they're more alike than they are different. Here we have an artist, Jerry Quickley, who's our lead, and he has brought in Reg E, who will be his director. And we are looking for participants in the community to actually write each other's stories.
No one is better at telling the stories of these communities than the community members themselves. And when you have a pastiche or a landscape of a collection of these stories from so many different individuals, and particularly when these stories are told from another community, it adds another layer of context. It validates the voices in these communities. It validates the cultural history and emotional history of these communities. It validates their vibrancy as being relevant members politically and culturally into the world that they inhabit. And it validates them as being one of the many hundreds, if not thousands, of vibrant communities all over California.
We have to ensure the participation of the communities. The only way that's possible is to create safe havens to create magic. So it's really important that the stories that are told are real, earnest stories. The people in the community, they have to know that we are earnest. We are not there to exploit them. We're not there trying to make a buck or a name for ourselves. We want to know about your community because it's important that it's documented. We have the tools to do it. Let's do it right, and let's do it in an earnest way.
I wanted to hear the stories, and I wanted to tell my story.
I like that it felt like a safe space. It felt safe, it felt comfortable, it felt like no matter what I said, I was going to be judged for it.
I think it's wonderful what you guys are doing. I think we need a lot more art, history, and culture in this community. People will learn how to express themselves. They'll come out of their shell a little bit more.
I think I'll discover the different nuances that they have that might even be similar to the nuances we have here. And I'm looking forward to that, actually.